You're watching Retirement Talk with Eric Kearny, Southwest Florida's retirement television. He's an author, a radio host, a fiduciary, and Southwest Florida's premier investment advisor. Here is Senior Investment Advisor Eric Kearny.
Welcome to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearny. I'm Wendy Falk, and I'm here today with Eric Kearny, President and CEO of Retirement Wealth Advisors. Eric, it's good to see you again.
Great to see you, Wendy.
Eric, on today's show, we're going to discuss financial truths. You know, today the media plays such a big part in our everyday lives. TV, social media, and the likes, and it can at many times be your biggest enemy. Just because you hear something on television, that doesn't always make it true, or just because you see something on social media, that doesn't make it true. It's so much more important to seek the advice of a financial professional such as yourself when you really want the financial truths. So what can you tell me about that, and how can you guide our viewers in that respect?
You know, I remember growing up, we used to come home and it was a really big deal to watch the 5 o'clock or the 6 o'clock news. And now all of a sudden with social media, no matter what you're on, it's constantly at us 24/7. You've got more business shows than you've ever had before. You've got more news shows than ever before. These big, massive medias are, getting on their airwaves and they're making tons of money, right? And so now more than ever, you have people that are telling you one way, then they got the person on the show telling you a different way. You really don't know what to believe in anymore. And in our financial life, financial narratives are constantly changing. And so a lot of people are making very short-term decisions based on what they see on TV. That could change all the next day. The interesting thing about this is that people want a long-term direction. And when they make these gut instincts from them, it doesn't go well for them, right? Long-term returns are the only ones that matter. The unfortunate part is short-term is where we live. So that short-term can sometimes be very tumultuous. And so people are looking for the solution. They want that quick solution to that. And when they see the media, they get discombobulated a little bit. And a few weeks ago, I came home and I'm getting my mail and I'm walking towards the front door and my neighbor says, "Hey Eric, what'd the market do today?" And I responded back to him very honestly. I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I was busy working, And so a day later, he saw me. He goes, "I have to ask you, I'm a little troubled that you didn't understand where the market was that day." And I just explained to him, I said, "Look," I said, "we come up with long-term strategies. We understand that the markets are going to go up and down. We don't really have to pay day-to-day attention to what the markets are doing. I care about what the markets are doing, but I also have strategies that are long-term in place for our clients. So I'm not going off of what the media tells me to do that day." I mean, can you imagine making gut instincts and information that's taken from media? That's pretty ridiculous. So once I explained that to him, he kind of understood what was happening. So the media can really work against us, and we see that all the time.
And what you just said, the media does make it get your emotions all up in an uproar. You make gut decisions based on your instincts. So when it comes to buying and selling investments, that's not where you all live at Retirement Wealth Advisors. Is that right?
Right. I mean, the thing is that we are sitting down with that client and we are rigorously constructing a plan for that client. And we talk about that all the time, but here's why that's important. We had a person come into our office and she sat down. She goes, "Well, this is what Susie Orman says. This is what Susie Orman tells me to do." She never implemented any of that, but yet she's listening to her advice. And I simply said to her, "Where will Susie Orman be when you're 79, when you're 80, 81, 82? She's going to be off in France sipping wine from all the millions of dollars in books that she's sold, right? She's not going to be sitting, helping you get through your retirement. Oh, by the way, I am, right?"
Right.
So I'm not going to pay attention to what these people say because there's a lot of unlicensed people on TV. They're just trying to sell their book. They're just trying to sell their blog site. We're not trying to do that. Our clients are coming into us and they want a long-term written financial plan to be able to get around those hurdles. So again, I turn off all that noise. I really do not watch an awful lot of news. I'm not on social media. And people say, "Oh, I like your Facebook page." And I'll say to them right away, if I see somebody in the grocery store, "Love your Facebook page." "Oh, Don't do it. I have somebody else that does it, right? I'm not on there. So the thing is that we put out stuff for the office and everything, but I really don't have any clue what's being put out there, and I don't post things personally. So I'm just not a big social media person. I'm actually a pretty private person. But the thing is that, again, we want to aggregate true information, not just water cooler talk.
Okay. Eric, I'm going to direct our viewers at this point in time to your website. It's erickearnyadvisor.com. You can download a couple of very, very informative pieces that Eric has on the website. First is the portfolio recovery strategy, and then also your complete guide to retirement income. As I said before, they're completely complimentary and wonderful pieces for you to actually have with you when you come for your first appointment with Eric. There's some workbook things in here as well. Well, moving right down the line with financial truths. Eric, I know you take financial planning very, very seriously, but financial planning with Eric Kearny is fun, isn't it?
Who wrote that in the script?
Someone I know.
So we do. I mean, the thing is that it's financial planning, and I didn't even think about the story till a second ago, but a couple of years ago, a couple came into my office and they had a meeting, and he was kind of like, you could tell he was being dragged into my office, right? And I said, "Oh, good morning." He's like, "Hi. I was told we were going shopping for boats." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. At least that's how she got you here, right?" So he really wasn't too pleased because he was in his head. He was thinking, "I don't need financial planning," and so the body, the way he sat in the chair, you could just tell from his body that he was not thrilled about being there, his body language. And so he kind of sat back in the seat. And as we went through this, I included him in it, whether he wanted to be involved or not. And all of a sudden throughout the meeting, you could kind of see him leaning forward. He was more and more interested. And so the thing is that he's like, "You know what?" He goes, "I didn't think that I needed this." He goes, "This actually seems pretty cool," right? And I said, "Look," I said, "we're not here to tell you what to do. We're really here to start complimenting your life." And so they've been great clients ever since. Now he comes in, shakes my hand. "Hey, Eric, good to see you." But people are finding that instead of being overwhelming, it really has to be not necessarily a fun experience, but it wants to be an enlightening experience, and we don't want it to be like intimidating to people. And people come in and they say, "Hey, we see you on TV, we hear you on the radio, and you are still the same guy that we see on TV." I think that I am. We are pretty laid back. When it comes to someone's finances, though, I do take that very seriously. Everyone in our office does. But the bottom line is that we do want it to be somewhat fun, and we want it to be a good experience for people.
Yes. Well, Eric, I think this will be a good time to open up the phone lines. We're going to take the first 10 callers who are serious about their retirement. Eric has a great offer for you. Eric, can you tell our viewers what that is, please?
Sure. If you're ever interested in a second opinion, you're looking for a written financial plan, or you're looking for a portfolio recovery strategy, give us a call today. We're going to take the next 10 callers who have saved at least $500,000 for retirement. And what this will consist of is simply taking all the guesswork out of financial planning. We're going to get you reacquainted with that portfolio. We're going to do all the reports for you, the fee reports, the Morningstar reports, a tax analysis, maybe even a volatility analysis. Let's see where that takes you. Let's see where that plan leads you. Again, let's get you reacquainted with that portfolio, and again, without any obligation. If you're interested in your very own income plan, we'll show you proven strategies and techniques to turbocharge your retirement income. In short, we're going to take all that guesswork out of financial planning, so give us a call today, 1-800-779-1942.
Please stay with us. We'll be back with more financial truths on Retirement Talk with Eric Kearny.
What does your retirement look like? Is it filled with travel, spending time with family, uninterrupted rounds at the golf course? Or are you too worried to even think about your hopes and dreams?
Questions about your retirement are normal. So come into our office, sit down with us, and let us help you find those answers.
Eric and his team can answer your questions with a complimentary review of your retirement and income plan, and it all starts with getting to know you.
We specialize in helping people just like you prepare for the retirement that they've always dreamed of.
They'll do exactly that by going over your current strategy to expose the weaknesses that may exist in your retirement portfolio. Plus, they'll explain potential risks and possible strategies to you in easy-to-understand terms and help get you reacquainted with your portfolio and income strategy.
What I enjoy most about retirement planning is sitting down with you and having real conversations about your retirement dreams and goals.
Once they understand your retirement goals, objectives, and dreams, they'll work to custom build a retirement plan to help ensure that you cannot outlive your income in retirement.
Retirement doesn't have to be scary. Let us help you retire confidently.
Because every dream needs a plan. Call Eric today and schedule your visit. You only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
Thanks for joining us again. Before the break, Eric and I were talking about financial truths. Eric, I'd like to start out this next part of the show and saying, I'd really like to talk about risk tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say it would be true that most people really aren't as risk tolerant as they think they are?
Absolutely. This is really interesting because when the markets are going through the roof and you could basically throw a dart at a board and make money on a stock, everybody's aggressive. You know, I'm an equity-driven investor. As soon as the markets plummet, you know, they're running and going into cash and saying, I'm conservative. Well, which one are you? Because the bottom line is that we're not going to take you on if you're, you know, older and you're a 100% equity-driven investor. That's not the kind of investors that we work with. We want to build a sustainable strategy that is always consistently acknowledging your risk tolerance. And it seems as though every 6 months or every quarter when we meet with our clients, what we're doing is reevaluating the risk tolerance. And what I equate this to is it's actually your sleepability factor. Because when you wake up at 2 or 3 a.m., what is the first thing on your mind? What is it that's actually waking you up? Those are the things that you have to fix in your life. And there's a lot of people that come in and they say, geez, you know, Eric, I'm interested in talking to you because I can't sleep about this financial problem that I have. Okay, that's the one that we have to extinguish first. And people always say to me, Eric, you manage a lot of money. You work with a lot of people. You're a big advisor. How do you sleep at night? My answer to them is, and always has been, I sleep like a baby. But I also understand all of my clients' risk tolerance. I also have a strategy in place for all of my clients. Through financial planning, through that income plan, I understand that long-term, we're going to be just fine. I'm giving them alternative options. I'm giving them contingency plans. We always have a backup plan in place. Through this year, with all the plunging markets, we've actually been able to take advantage of that. And so we were ready when all this happened. And so all of our clients, even when they call us up, they're like, hey, Eric, you know, I want to come in for my meeting. Do I have options? Am I able to take advantage of this? Absolutely. Come on in and we're going to show that to them. That's the one thing that gets me through the day, is that by always giving our clients options, alternative routes, we're able to jump over all the what ifs that could happen in life and continue on their retirement. So again, your risk tolerance is your sleepability factor, and however you're sleeping at night, hopefully you're sleeping very well because someone is at the wheel of that financial wheel. And so that's what we're trying to do for our clients too. So again, we've got to take that into account. If somebody's a super aggressive investor, they're typically not a good client for us and they're better off doing on their own. But when somebody really wants a significant, comprehensive financial plan done that's managed, monitored, and maintained, we're a great firm for you.
Yes, and you have a great team working with you. You've got Autumn and Donna and Joey, and then a huge back office that helps you do this, because it's a big process. It takes a lot to manage somebody's retirement portfolio.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to my personal staff. They've done a great job, so thank you everyone. And then also to my back office staff, because there are so many people working in the background that Autumn deals with every day, Donna deals with every day, and they're just doing a great job. I mean, we're so grateful to everyone that helps us out. I mean, there's a big support staff there, so I want to thank them as well.
It's very good. Eric, you know, there's no single financial product that's going to solve all of your problems, because there's no magic bullet. What do you say to people when they think there may be just one single thing that's going to make their portfolio just fine?
We see this all the time. You know, people are being sold products. And one of the things that we go back to is, were you sold a product or were you provided with a solution? And we're seeing where a lot of people were just sold a product, no solution was actually entered. And so people are coming to us 2 or 3 years after they went into a product and saying, Eric, I was sold this, they moved all my money into this, and it's not doing anything. Remember, when we move an entire pile of money into one product, that typically creates 3 other issues. Maybe it's not going to keep up with your taxes. Maybe it's not going to be tax friendly. Maybe it's not going to be keeping up with inflation. Maybe it's not going to be giving you the income that you anticipated it would. And so the bottom line is that when we're building any kind of strategy, there's got to be what ifs, there's got to be contingency plans. And I know that I say that over and over, but there's a lot of new people that are coming in that are struggling in retirement. And what we're doing is that we're going through everything line by line. We're not saying, oh, well, we can fix this entire thing. No, we're showing that client what has to be fixed, what your fees are, how much are you paying for this, what is your standard deviation, basically how much risk, how much volatility do you have in there, and how can we actually fix this? How can we make this better? But we're building a system of investments. There is no magic bullet. And we have saved a lot of people who have had a ton of money in a variable annuity, all the way from a variable annuity, which is very expensive. They don't understand their income options. A lot of times they have bells and whistles that they're paying for that they'll never use. Get rid of that thing. And so there's a lot of people that are convinced that they have to stay in that. You don't have to stay in it. You can get out of that product more than likely and move into something that's better. Also, these people that are working with these huge hedge funds, we've had more hedge fund people come to us this year than any other year before. Their fees were through the roof and they weren't getting very much for that. So the bottom line is that people are coming into us saying, okay, it's not just the wealth management side of it, we need strategic planning as well. And so again, there's a lot of different sides to wealth management other than just managing their finances.
Eric, you'll accomplish more by paying yourself first. We talked about this earlier.
Right.
Tell our viewers what you mean by that.
Successful people invest first and spend what's left over. A typical person will spend what they need and then some, and then invest if anything's left over. And so what we're showing people is if they come into us and say, we want to be retired at this age, this is the lifestyle that we desire. We want to make sure that we take care of our kids doing this. We want to travel. We want to buy an RV. Whatever that is, I don't really care. I'm going to put that whole mix in that financial plan. And then we're going to start showing the client how we're going to get there. And so again, there's so many different hats that we wear in this financial planning side that every day we're putting on different hats throughout the day, which I think is fun, right? But the thing is that we're more than capable at all the different parts of financial planning, and that's what I like about it. And so if there's a part of financial planning that I really don't understand or I struggle with, I will do everything that I have to, and I'll spend weeks, months, years figuring that out because I want to know every side of this, right? And I want to be able to go back to my client and say, hey, we took this over. One of the best things that I learned about 10 or 12 years ago was people were coming in with basket case portfolios, really in bad shape. And I found that even with my ADD that I have, that I could go through that portfolio and it just made sense to me. Like, and that's kind of a gift that I've been giving. So I appreciate my ADD actually, because as crazy as it is, I can look at a portfolio and I just go through with a person and tell them what's wrong. Your asset classes are off. It's irrelevant. Your risk and volatility is through the roof. Your fees are crazy. This is not going to work for you. And so I'm just being honest with that person. And there are some people come in and I'll say, geez, this actually looks like a pretty good portfolio. I would tweak a few things, but actually it looks pretty good. And they're like, well, that's okay, Eric. I appreciate your honesty. We still want to work with you. Other people stay with their advisor because they're in good shape. So that's great. We want to be honest with people. And the thing is that everybody that comes in, we want to give them a truly honest evaluation of where they stand because this is your financial life. And so you've got to get it right the first time. And like I said, we don't pull any punches. We take this very seriously.
Yeah. Eric, I think this will be a good time to take a break, but we're going to open up the phone lines before we do that. The number is 1-800-779-1942. Eric has a great offer to our first 10 callers who are really serious about their retirement. Eric, can you tell them what that is, please?
Sure, Wendy. If you're looking for a portfolio recovery strategy, you're interested in a second opinion, or you want a written comprehensive financial plan, give us a call today. We're going to run all the reports for you. The fee reports, the Morningstar reports, a tax analysis, maybe a volatility analysis. Let's see where it takes you. Let's see where that plan leads you. Let's get you reacquainted with that portfolio, and again, without any obligation whatsoever. If you're interested in your very own income plan, we'll show you proven strategies and techniques to turbocharge your retirement income. In short, we want to take all the guesswork out of financial planning. So again, give us a call right now, 1-800-779-1942.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Retirement Talk with Eric Kearny.
What does your retirement look like? Is it filled with travel, spending time with family, uninterrupted rounds at the golf course? Or are you too worried to even think about your hopes and dreams?
Questions about your retirement are normal. So come into our office, sit down with us, and let us help you find those answers.
Eric and his team can answer your questions with a complimentary review of your retirement and income plan, and it all starts with getting to know you.
We specialize in helping people just like you prepare for the retirement that they've always dreamed of.
They'll do exactly that by going over your current strategy to expose the weaknesses that may exist in your retirement portfolio. Plus, they'll explain potential risks and possible strategies to you in easy-to-understand terms and help get you reacquainted with your portfolio and income strategy.
What I enjoy most about retirement planning is sitting down with you and having real conversations about your retirement dreams and goals.
Once they understand your retirement goals, objectives, and dreams, they'll work to custom build a retirement plan to help ensure that you cannot outlive your income in retirement.
Retirement doesn't have to be scary. Let us help you retire confidently.
Because every dream needs a plan. Call Eric today and schedule your visit. You only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
Thanks for joining us again. Before the break, we were talking about financial truths, Eric.
Yes.
Something I'd like to bring up that I'd like you to explain to our viewers is you're a fiduciary. Can you tell our viewers what that means and what your responsibilities are because of that?
Well, bottom line is that we have by law and license, we are required to put the client's best interest first. So we don't have any proprietary products. And we also follow the rule of we have a duty to loyalty, a duty to be obedient, and just to take care of that client. I mean, we really do take that seriously. So I think through the financial planning process, we're really uncovering a lot of these things that the client actually needs. So having that fiduciary puts them in the best position. We're putting their best interest first, and that's really what a retiree should be looking for.
Okay. Eric, a financial truth that we're going to touch on right now is you are going to need health care in retirement and possibly long-term care solutions.
Yeah.
When you're planning for someone's retirement, I mean, these are unknowns. Mm-hmm. You know you're going to need some place to live. You know you're going to need this and you're going to need that. And you know you're going to need health care, but you don't really know how much and to what extent you'll need. How do you help your clients plan for that?
Right. So this is actually an area that about 5 or 6 years ago, I didn't really know very much about. And so again, if I don't know a lot about an area, I'm going to hyper focus on that area. And what's interesting about this is that we actually saw that a person with longevity, Wendy, actually pays more for health care due to living a lot longer of a life. Mm-hmm. And they actually did a study with a person that had type 2 diabetes, where at first in retirement, the person with type 2 diabetes actually paid more out in health care those years that they lived, but unfortunately, they got sick, passed away. The person that had longer longevity, even though they paid less out of pocket, still over time had higher medical bills. And so it's not that that person is sickly, but if you get a cold or you need simple surgery, you're still going to be paying for health care. So even though you have longevity in your life, you're still going to the doctor, and that will cost you something. So we've got to take into account when somebody does have longevity that, you and I talk about the healthcare study that Fidelity did, that it's going to cost the average couple $250,000 in retirement just for health care. We're not even talking long-term care. Now, all of a sudden, you have studies that are challenging that and saying, we actually think it's closer to $285,000. So we're showing this to clients and we're saying, look, how can we actually afford this aside from paying your bills, traveling, and living the life that you want? Because the thing is that you and I have talked about before that as we age, our priorities change. And I think what happens is a lot of times as we get older, we want to make sure that we're living a more comfortable life. So our priorities are going to change over time. And that's one of the things that we're factoring in is all those medical costs.
Eric, we'll have to get through this one pretty quickly, and this is kind of funny because we talk about your past is your past and you can move on to your future.
Yeah.
And your past is important, but you need to learn from it. Your financial past is relevant and it is important for you to look at and to plan for the future. So what can you tell me about that quickly?
This is about investment behavior, and this is one thing that Don is actually trained in. So we have to understand where you're coming from, where your rearview mirror is, in order to know what direction we are going forward. How do you feel about money? How did you grow up with money? Did you not have very much money? Were you controlled by money? Were you in a bad marriage where monetary issues were difficult? Your financial past is absolutely relevant to understanding how we actually provide financial planning.
Eric, this will be a great time for us to open up the phone lines again. The number's 1-800-779-1942. Again, we'd like to have the first 10 callers who are really serious about their retirement. Eric, can you tell our callers what they'll receive when they call in?
Sure. This is your last chance today. We're going to take the first 10 callers that are calling in. If you've never had a portfolio recovery strategy, you're looking for an investment plan, or you really are in need of a second opinion, give us a call today. We're going to take the next 10 callers, and you can call us at 1-800-779-1942. We're going to run all the reports, the fee reports, the Morningstar reports, a tax analysis, maybe a volatility analysis. Let's see where it takes you. Let's see where that plan leads you. Let's get you reacquainted with that portfolio, and again, without any obligation. If you're interested in your very own income plan, we'll show you proven strategies and techniques to turbocharge your retirement income. In short, we're going to take all the guesswork out of financial planning. So again, 1-800-779-1942.
Eric, great show today discussing all the financial truths. I hope it was very helpful to all of our viewers. Again, I'd like to direct people to your website, erickearneyadvisor.com. You can download some wonderful pieces of informative information guides, the Retirement Income Guide, as well as the Portfolio Recovery Strategy. Eric also has 4 offices: Bonita Springs, Cape Coral, Punta Gorda, and Sarasota. Again, we want to thank you for watching today. Remember, you only retire once. Let's get it right the first time. Have a great week and an even better retirement.